We should have all heard the lesson by now of the early days on Mount Tam. Gary Fisher and Tom Ritchie racing bikes in their jeans and flannel shirts while talking about how rugged and great they were for inventing the mountain bike. We all know that story, right? I'm going to skip that and talk about the racer who put mountain biking on the map. A racer who dominated cycling before Tomac or even Ned Overland. His name was Joe Murray, and he was the first legend of mountain biking. In 1980, Joe Murray, a 15-year-old Grom from Marin, fascinated with the new mountain bikes that were being produced by the aforementioned creators of modern mountain biking, decided to throw down in an early race that was probably the first that wasn't an actual repack race on Mount Tam. He won the amateur class. There were no age classes, just pros and amateurs, and that put him 11th overall. Murray would continue to compete against the mountain biking early elite, including in the debut Norba National Championship in '83, which was won by Steve Tilford, if you ever had a curiosity to know who the first mountain bike champion in the world actually was. And the '84 Nationals, which had finally moved east to the other mountain bike breeding ground, Colorado, Joe Murray won. The '84 season was one that was dominated by him. If you go by the almost no results or evidence that mountain biking was even a thing, but the elders corroborate, and I'm one that believes them. The '85 season stayed the same. Murray dominated nearly everything he entered. The popularity of mountain biking was growing, and though Murray won his second Norba National Championship, his biggest competitor, Ned Overland, was out the first lap with a broken frame. The '86 National Championship brought the heavy hitters of the era head-to-head. John Tomac started hard and led most of the first half of the race, with Ned at his heels and Joe chasing. Then, the one thing that was driving mountain bike development happened to Tomac. He broke a frame. On the same lap, Joe's frame broke too. And Ned took his first Norba Championship. 1987, Norba National finally saw a race to end with the big guns. Joe would end up fourth, with Ned winning the race, Tomac behind, Mike Closer in third. The same year, Joe would finish second behind Ned Overland in the unofficial World Championships that took place in Villard-de-Lans. Joe Murray continued to be a fast guy and a prominent figure in helping Shimano develop in the direction the public wanted, and was even our voice to the Japanese company when they did crazy things like brake lever shifters on their XTR group set, which I used and didn't once grab my brakes and accidentally shift. He designed bikes for Marin, Kona, and Voodoo, was a pioneer designer for titanium parts, and continues to be a legend in the industry. His intuition for mountain biking is unmatched, and the people around him agree. It's why he was the first mountain biker in the Cycling Hall of Fame. While only a dominant champion for a few years, they were in the infancy of mountain biking as we know it today. He raced over 200 professional races and won 73 of them. He was a figure that helped lead the burgeoning new sport in the right direction and will forever be the first of the mountain bike racing legends.